Good afternoon, office administrators. Whoever is not in this hall does not actually own that title.
I wish to propose a budget of 17,736,819 in the year 2016.
In this regard, I am happy to announce that we will unveil our first Secretary of the Year award tomorrow during the gala dinner.
I am one of the few people in the public service who has a male secretary. Yeah.
There is unity in strength, and strength in unity. And as a public service commission, I have promised that we are going to support you in this drive, because for us, that is the only way.
Now, this is our second day here, and looking at our program, we are actually behind schedule. And at this point in time, I want us to get to the core business of today. Now, we are all aware this annual general conference is a 3 events in one. We had our conference yesterday, which was very successful. Today, we are supposed to have our annual general meeting. And then later in the day, in the evening, we shall have our dinner. Now, Madam Hilda has spoken about talent that is within us. There's a lot of it, and I still want to encourage those others in other areas to come up so that, we can recognize you wherever you are, whatever you're doing, so that, we are able to promote each other as we continue doing what we are best at. Now, at this point in time, I also want to say we have one of us who is a gospel artist. Maybe just to start off our AGM, I'll ask her just to break now the morning before we start off our core business of today, just to sing for us a song.
Good morning. Kenasa A. Bwana asifiwe. Tumsifu Yesu Kristo. My name is Rose Wesanza from Trans Nzoia County, and I'm not just a secretary, I'm also a trained pastor, and I'm also a gospel artist. My stage name is Mama Rose, and I do gospel music. And this morning I thank God for the opportunity. I just want to do an encouragement to you from 1 Corinthians chapter 10 and verse 13, where the Bible says every test that you have experienced is the kind that normally comes to people. But God keeps his promise. He will not allow you to be tested beyond your power to remain firm. At the time you are put to the test, he will give you the strength to endure it and so provide you with a way out. So I'm going to sing this scripture in Swahili that says, hakuna jaribio lisilo la kawaida. Na Mungu ni mwaminifu na yeye hata kuacha ujaribiwe kuliko uwezo wako. Ukijaribiwa atafanya njia ili usimame. And as mothers, as wives, you all go through issues and big issues. But with faith in God, you will stand out. Bwana asifiwe. Utasimama because that is the will of God for you kusimama. If you are able to stand and dance with the Lord, you are free to do that. Enjoy. We have come to enjoy ourselves, to encourage ourselves, and to see that we have hope for tomorrow. Hakuna jaribio lisilo la kawaida. Mungu ni mwaminifu na yeye hatakuacha ujaribiwe kuliko uwezo wako, ili usimame ushinde usifu. Mama, wewe unadhania sasa ni mwisho. Mungu yuko ameahidi, jaribiwa hapo atatengeneza njia ili usimame ushinde usifu, ili usimame usimame usimame, atatengeneza njia ili wewe ushinde usifu, ili mama usimame usimame. Mpango wa Mungu kwako, kwa yale unayopitia, Mungu yuko nawe, atakupigania. Siangamie, usianguke, usimame. Usimame, 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 tuseme usimame. May God bless you, Kenasa.
I want to get somebody proposing the agenda that was sent out to you, and somebody to second. I want to get somebody from the lower floor, and then somebody to second from the upper floor. If you got the agenda for this meeting, please stand up, and for the purposes of making it official, I want somebody to propose that agenda. She is Redemptor, a representative from Kitui County. She is proposing the agenda for the 6th Annual General Meeting.
I'm Rose Musembi from Ministry of Interior. I second the agenda.
I'm sure whoever is noting the minutes for the 6th Annual General Conference must have captured that. So our agenda itself is we are going to have welcome remarks from the chairperson and the introduction, which she's already done. Then we'll confirm the minutes of the 5th Annual General Meeting. We shall look at the matters arising from those minutes. Then I will invite the chair to give her annual report. Then I will invite the treasurer to give his financial report for the past 1 year, and then he will eventually invite the auditor to present to us the audited accounts for last year. Then we shall have any other business. Where we normally have the patron's representative talking to us, but I'm sure the patron's representative has already spoken to us, so we'll not have a long session. And then eventually we'll have a closing prayer. So allow me at this point in time to read the minutes of the 5th Annual General Meeting of the Kenya National Secretaries Association, which was held on 27 March 2015 at Sitam Church Hall in Kisumu. The members present, we sent you a list of members present, and I also want to mention this again as a concern. That's why I mentioned that if you did not register, please make sure you have written your name down. Last year in Kisumu, we had an attendance of above 2,000. But the people who actually wrote down their names, we only had around 1,580. So please make sure you write down, you register your attendance for this meeting. Now, during the 5th Annual General Meeting, we had a similar agenda. We had introduction from the chairperson. We confirmed the minutes of the 4th Annual General Meeting. We had matters arising from the minutes of the 4th Annual General Meeting. We had the chairperson's report for that year, 2014. We had the treasurer's report for the year 2014, the auditor's report for 2014, and we had the patron's representative. We had preliminaries before the meeting started. That meeting was brought up to order at 10 a.m. with the national anthem being sung. Prayers were said from the Christian and Muslim fraternity. Thereafter, the chairperson, Matilda Nyango, led the introductions of the national office before the meeting officially set off. The National Secretary read out the agenda of the 5th Annual General Meeting, earlier sent to members. The agenda was proposed and seconded by Florence Acheno from Siaya County and Jane Murega, Kenya Power, Mombasa. Minute number 1 of the 5th Annual General Meeting 2015 was confirmation of the previous minutes. The minutes of the 4th Annual General Meeting, which was held on 28 March 2014 at Moi International Sports Center, Kasarani, Nairobi, were read by the National Secretary. They were confirmed and seconded by Rose O'Neill from Kenya Revenue Authority and Esther Lusangalu from Cabinet Affairs Office, respectively, to be a true record of the deliberations of the 4th Annual General Meeting. Minute number 2 of the 5th Annual General Meeting 2015 was matters arising. The National Secretary moderated the session on matters arising from the minutes of the 4th Annual General Meeting, and the following matters arose. 1 was membership registration. there was concern over the membership registration fees. The National Secretary clarified that membership registration fees still stood at 500 shillings. The proposal by the previous representative meeting to have the fee raised from 500 to 3,000 shillings was further deliberated by the National Executive Committee, which directed that the proposal be presented to the members during the 5th Annual General Meeting. For those who attended the 5th Annual General Meeting, you remember that was one of the resolution requests that the chairperson made, and we are all aware of the outcome. The second matter that arose was on transfers and promotions. Our members were concerned, or rather requested clarification on transfers, promotions, and upgrading. The person's representative, who is also the head of Secretarial Services, Mrs. Hill Ojwang, requested that she would deal with those issues on secretarial administration immediately after the AGM, because most of those issues were affecting individual secretaries. So she wanted a one-on-one meeting with those individuals that are affected. Matter number 3 that arose was the venue for the 6th Annual General Meeting. There was concern that during Her Excellency Mrs. Rael Ruto's address, remember she was our chief guest during the 5th AGC, she requested that the next AGM be hosted in Eldoret town. It was observed at that point that from history, all the elections for the national office had been held in Nairobi. It was therefore a concern, as elections were expected during the next AGM. The National Secretary clarified that there was going to be a resolution request that would affect the period of the official's term of office. The decision on the venue of the next AGM was therefore shelved, awaiting the outcome of the resolution. Number 4, membership subscriptions. It also came up as a concern. We have members who are facing challenges and go through various, sorry for that. There was another concern over the challenges members go through in trying to have their membership monthly subscriptions deducted through check-off system. The National Secretary clarified that the matter, or rather many other counties had raised similar concerns. He stated that the national office has been dealing with that challenge, treating each as a special case. This was because the requirements of various counties were not standard. He further requested that the representatives or individual members with similar concerns to always get in touch with the national office and present the requirements of the employer so that it is dealt with as soon as possible. Matter number 5 that arose was the Sawyer Award. Sawyer Award is the Secretary of the Year Award. There was a general concern as to why it had not been held so far. The National Chair clarified that the delay had been brought about by the lengthy consultation regarding the most appropriate criteria to be used. The Chair further promised that she would engage the National Executive Committee to have it held during the gala night of the 6th Annual General Conference, which is coming up in the next few hours. Those are the matters that arose during the 5th Annual General Meeting. I'll go straight to minute number 3 of the 5th Annual General Meeting 2015, the Chairperson's report. The Chairperson in her remarks thanked members for voting her as the National Chairperson during the 4th Annual General Meeting that was held in March 2014. She went further and stated that she would try as much as possible to deliver all the promises she made during her campaigns. I noted she already started campaigning today. That is allowed. Now, she also appreciated members for voting in a strong team of national officials whom she said were up to the task of steering the affairs of the association. She just introduced that team a few minutes ago. Now, in her annual report, she mentioned issues to do with monthly subscriptions. The Chairperson noted in her report that the monthly subscriptions had greatly improved. However, she noted that some members in the ministries whose functions had been devolved to county governments have been facing challenges where the latter has not been cooperating in terms of submitting or effecting the deductions for the membership subscriptions. She called upon the affected parties to constantly address these challenges with the National Office for amicable solutions. She also talked about membership certificates in her annual report. She noted that membership certificates had been printed and urged members, especially those who had not picked their membership certificates and cards, to do so. She emphasized that it was important to have the certificates and cards as it serves as an identity of belonging to the association. I also want to mention that after this meeting immediately, we shall set up a desk for distribution of some of those certificates. So if you know you had already applied for the membership certificate and you have not received it, please, you will check with that desk so that you can pick your certificate and card. The Chairperson in her report as well talked about capacity building. She stated that one of the promises she made during her campaigns was to improve the level of capacity building in the association. To achieve this objective, therefore, the National Office, in conjunction with the regional and county chapters, had organized successful workshops held in Kisumu. Remember, that was held in August 2014. Then we went to Nakuru, I think it was September. Then we went to Nyeri in October. Then Nairobi, I think September, October. She promised that more workshops were to be organized during the year. And in that case, you remember last year we had a workshop, 2-day workshop in Meru in October, and another 2-day workshop in Mombasa in December. Now, she also talked about financial matters in her report. She informed members that the Treasurer will be giving a comprehensive financial report for the year ended December 2014. She appealed to the members to approve the proposed budget for 2015 to enable the office to operationalize the activities of the association during the year 2015. The Chairperson ended her annual report by mentioning a few challenges. She noted that running the association was not without challenges. She mentioned that during the year under review, a number of challenges were met. One, it had been noticed that a number of members get facilitation from the employers but never turn up for the events. She requested that the representatives or members should be able to avail that information about such unscrupulous members who are out to tarnish the image of the association, so that the national office can institute disciplinary action against them. I still want to mention that we are still doing that. Representatives and members, if you know that there are maybe your colleagues who are facilitated to attend this event and they decided to sit back, not to attend this event, we need that information so that we can take the necessary action. We want to do returns to all the employers who have facilitated our members. It is very, very unprofessional that you request us from the national office to officially request for facilitation on your behalf to attend this event. You've been given facilitation in terms of transport, accommodation, to come to attend this event. And then you decide to sit back in the office, or rather just sit back at home, and then on Monday, you're back in the office. I don't know what kind of report you're going to write, the back to the office report. I hope all of us do that. After this event, I expect you to write a report to your employer. If we have not been doing that, please take this as a challenge. You need to do a report.